All right, welcome back. Last session. What are we going to talk about today? Number one. Oh, I just wanted to bring this to your attention. Previewing an assignment and student submissions. So I had requested some peers enroll in a class. I just kind of asked Jen and Sherry to do it, and they were happy to oblige. But something that I can do on my own, if you go to Student View, you can actually submit sample work and then flip back to Teacher View and see what the submission looks like. So you don't have to make your friends help you for most of it. Number two, types of student text file submissions. So the question was, is there a difference if a student submits a Google Doc versus a Microsoft document? So that's the question that leads our discussion today. So we'll look at different types of text file submissions, docs for Microsoft, PDF, and Google Docs. Now, chances are a kid is not going to submit a PDF, right? Unless they're really geeking out. They're probably going to submit a Google Doc or a Microsoft document. I bet there are others, but that's really our reality of these. So I'm going to hit escape and I'm going to go to Canvas. So I am in a course in Canvas, and this is a list of my assignments. And I'm going to go to this first sample assignment. Directions. I embedded a video in the directions. You can do that if you need to. So I'm pretending that this is about an essay that you have to write. And I'm including a copy of these essay tips. I do not know if this is a quality video. It's just about essays. I can also embed Google Documents. And so this is a rubric. Yep, okay. It has nothing to do with essays, but I just found a quick rubric that I could embed in the directions. Plan is to show you what I made, and then we can go back into the details on how to make it happen. Okay. And points, I just made it 10 points, and I said the student could submit a URL or a file upload. Great. Well, I actually do have a student submission. So let's look at what that looks like. A couple ways to get there. I could go to grades to look at their submissions, but since I'm right here at the assignment, I'm just going to go to SpeedGrader. And if I look at the top right, it says test student. I can hit this drop down arrow and I would see Jen and Sherry as also as students in the class. So that's one way to go to a different student. I can also toggle through with the arrows to get to another student. Jen has not submitted and nor has Sherry. That's fine. But test student has. And test students actually hit that submit button 3 different times. And I even get a timestamp on that. I want to look at this one. Okay, so why do I want to look at this one? Because the student uploaded a PDF and they uploaded a Word document. So they were able to actually upload 2 different documents in one submission. Just to keep it simple for my brain, this is a PDF. I have tools up here at the top that I can use to write on theirs. They're pretty intuitive, okay? So T, should I go in order? Fine, I'll go in order. Okay, what is this? Rotate, you don't want to do that. Expand, fine. Arrow, great. Pinpoint. If I want to pinpoint right on something, and I can say, great job, or great job. I can do that. If I prefer to grade in red, then I can make all of my comments in red. If I prefer to grade in green, I can do that. I can go to the next one, which is a highlighting annotation. I can highlight. Here it is in yellow, but maybe I want to change it and make all my teacher highlights in green. How did I do that? Well, I just click and drag while the highlight thing was selected. And trash can, if I want to get rid of that. And then over here, if I want to make some comment with that, I can say, yes, it is a PDF. P for text, if I just want to put a text box anywhere on the page. And again, just for continuity, we'll make that green. Strike through, same as the highlighting feature, you just drag it and it strikes it through. You don't have to make a comment on it. You can just leave it as is. Maybe that's enough. This one is the line tool, but really just think of it as a pencil. So whatever reason, maybe you are drawing a line on there to tell them something. Maybe you're crossing through a whole paragraph. I've done that before. So those are some tools. Pretty simple and pretty helpful, I think. And a nice thing is regardless of what type of file the student submits, you get the same toolbar. So I'm playing in a PDF here. Let's look at the Word doc they submitted. I'm sure you will not be surprised by what it says. This is a Microsoft Word document, but Canvas doesn't care. It's just going to let me see it, and it's going to give me these tools. So that's nice. In addition to writing on the page, I can also go over here and assign a comment just about the assignment as a whole. Resubmit. Ooh, it's early. Okay, telling them they need to resubmit this. Paperclip, I can attach a document. I think maybe this is the one that I would use the least. I'm not going to make a document with comments if I can type comments here and I can type comments here. Media comment. So I can click on that and I'm going to allow this to use my mic and camera. And I can start recording. Great job with your first draft submission. Make sure you come to your tutorial. Great job with your first draft. You probably can't hear that because I didn't enable the sound, but sure enough, I heard myself back clearly. I can hit save, and there's just audio of myself. Or you can do audio and video, and you know, audio is great. I don't know if I need to do audio and video, but that's an option for you. And if I just wanted to do audio without, oh no, this one, the button here, you would think this last button, let me hit cancel, I got a little excited. This last button you might think is just to record an audio clip, but it's speech recognition. It is talk to text. Hit the record button. Great job on your first draft of your blah, blah, blah. And stop button stops it, and then it automatically shot it into the thing. Okay, so take that, Google Classroom, right? This could make things easier. So I showed you a PDF and a Word document. What about a Google Doc? Because now that Google and Canvas are BFF, they can also just like link up to their outside Google Doc. Okay. I know this submission was a Google Doc. Nope. Yes, I do. I do know that because it said sample Google Doc. But I noticed that it says DOCX. So Canvas automatically turned it into a Word document. And then it was just like the other Word document. I made a note here. Permissions are set that only my student account could view the document. But I am viewing the document. So when the student goes to submit, a little pop-up box says, Canvas and your teacher are going to be able to see this. So your teacher doesn't have to worry about, your student does not have to worry about sharing this with the teacher because Canvas does it. So that's pretty cool too. And then you could have all the same editing features. Okay, that's a lot. Let me pause for questions or to drink some of my coffee.
Okay, this is a very basic question. And when you made the assignment, I probably haven't looked at this yet, but how do the students know where to submit or when they submit, all that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, I'm looking at it from the student's point of view. So because I want to teach them how to submit an assignment, but I don't,
I'll go there.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, what's next in my brain? Oof, that's tricky. Do I know? I do know. Okay, so these are some ways to do a document. Let's look at this thing that I made. So we were talking about a student submitting a doc, a PDF, or a Google document. That all kind of works the same way. When you're making the assignment, you're going to choose the submission type as online, and you can select website URL. I do that just in case they want to paste a link to their document. I might not do that in the future, whatever. File uploads. The file uploads allows them to upload the doc and the PDF. Pros of this. We saw that you have the same editing toolbar. I think it's a good editing toolbar. You get the audio stuff, which is pretty spectacular. And it accepts multiple file types. That's a good thing. Okay. On the flip side, there's the Google Assignments LTI 1.3, aka Google Assignments, that we talked about a previous day. So what about that? As a teacher who's accepting maybe an essay or just a paper thing from kids, you have to choose between one of these two types of submissions. And a reminder, you still go to submission type, but you go to external tool. I type in Google Assignments and hit find, and then I click here and I pick the document that I want to use. So the pros of using this way, you can use Google Comment Bank. If you don't know what that is, don't worry, you don't need to learn. If you do, someday you'll find it. Don't feel like you need to use Google Assignments and then make yourself use Google Comment Bank. This is just if you're already using it. Another pro is the student experience is similar to Classroom if they've used Classroom before. It is harder for students to misplace their work with Google Assignments because you're making a copy for each student. And if they click that link, it's always there. On the other hand, if they were using Microsoft Word on their personal computer, where did I put the file? Could become an issue. And we love I left it on my home computer. Okay. Arguably simpler resubmissions. I think if they want to resubmit the Google Doc, they just keep typing and hit resubmit. But if they want to resubmit their Microsoft Word doc, they need to save a copy of the Microsoft Word doc and re-upload it. Okay. Hopefully, it still allows you to see student work prior to submission. I ran out of time and did not confirm this. But this is my favorite thing, and this is the deal breaker for me. I want to be able to see students' work before they submit it. I can't do that with the docs and the PDF stuff. I want to know if they've gotten started. I want to call kids in for academy for intervention or boost them if they haven't gotten started. I want to be able to contact, shoot an email to mom, before the due date comes around. I can give them feedback if they're doing the assignment wrong before the due date comes around. So this is huge. I think because I was playing in the student version, it didn't work. I have no reason to think it would not work. It probably does. Cons to using this: more clicks for both you and the student. You have to use the external tool. But the big star is a deal breaker for me. So let's look at what that looks like. Question is, can you see student progress through Canvas if you use a Google Doc assignment thing? So if you use the way on the right-hand side, I think you will be able to see student work, but I didn't have the time to confirm that. I have no reason to think that you could not. Okay. Blah, I do not want to show you that slide. Those are my notes. Okay, we're back in Canvas. I'm gonna go to assignments. I have a second assignment that I made so that I use the Google assignment tool thingy. Open the attachment, type directly on the file. Ignore this login crap because I have two accounts linked up. You probably won't have to deal with this. Did I continue ignoring this stuff? I probably hit the wrong button. I would like to be myself. Which version of myself? What the? So I need to refresh the page. Continue to ignore. I'm going to try the same thing one more time, and then I'm going to let it go.
I think it's the pop-up. Is your pop-up enabled? Because it looks like there's a pop-up thing happening.
Yeah, I'm clicking on the right thing for the pop-up. Oh, now it works. Weird. Huh. Okay, maybe that refreshing did do something. And maybe Jen's support helped as well. I'll take all of it. This is the teacher side. And I have 0 submitted and 0 returned. Now, I still have that test student in the class, but the test student doesn't come up. So I actually need a real student to do this to be able to see if I can see their work. That's the issue. I went through all that to Stacy says, let's see it from the student side, and I agree. So I'm switching to the student view. Everyone does have a test student built in there, yeah. So when you click student view, you become test student. That's a Canvas thing. Okay, so I know I'm in a student because I see the fuchsia thing. I'm going to click that first assignment. I really do think they can see this because I made the document public. I think it's a student view issue. Resubmit assignment. All right, Stacy, here we go. At the bottom, gee golly. File, upload, choose a file. They choose one, they can actually submit two. Click here to find a file you've already uploaded. I don't know if that's the best idea because you can't edit it in here. They can click on it, find it, download it, and re-edit it. Website URL is if they want to paste a link to their Google Docs. I think I'm actually going to take that one out because they would need to be conscious of sharing, making sure the sharing settings, and we just don't need to deal with another step. I'll repeat that. I think I'm going to take the website URL option out because I don't need them to have to think about sharing the settings before pasting the URL. Google Drive and Google Drive are there because of the settings from our district. You don't have to do these two. What's the difference? The Google Drive is for the old thing. The Google Drive LTI 1.3 is for assignments. As a student, I couldn't play around with the old one. I was like, masquerading? Oh, they mean pretending you're a student. Okay, fine. So I went into the new Google Drive one, and I was able to go into my other account and upload a document. So, Stacey, if you want to make them use their Google Drive, then don't put file upload as an option, and don't put website URL as an option.
Well, another question, I'm sorry to interrupt. Like, you know, when you showed that just type on this document, the next thing you went to, wouldn't it be easier, or maybe for me, to just do a discussion question?
Depends on how much information you want from the student.
Okay.
Yeah, if it was a paper, like 3 pages, oh no, that's the way to go. If you're just asking a question, you can just say, instead of file upload, instead of website URL, you can just say text entry, and they can just type right in there.
So something maybe you're assigning right there in class for them to do, you know, asking a question and have them do it. And, yeah, you know, as we practice using Canvas, that would be something. Okay.
I would like to say something on that though, if I may. Is that okay?
You may.
Just kind of an FYI, if the kids click right in the document, and I don't know if this has changed, but as someone who's taught writing online, if they type it right into the document as a text thing, I don't think it's interactive with the editing tools. So basically, if you wanted to actually comment on the document itself, you couldn't. You could just use that speed grader column. Does that make sense? And so, like, I hated that. So I would get really mad if my kids would submit it right in text. But I don't know if that's still true now, but last year we couldn't interact with the text itself if they type it right into the text.
Great comment, great point. And then it goes back to, what do you want to do with the assignment? There are times where I am not interested in grading for spelling, format, and grammar, and then I don't need to annotate. That's the word we may have been looking for. I don't need to annotate. I can just give a blanket statement, then that would work for me. But yeah, if you're annotating, that text box thing, probably not going to be your friend. And look at us thinking of ways to use it, right? Like that's the name of the game. Questions, comments, requests?
Can I ask a question? And it's not about this though. Does anyone have a question about? I want to know how you did the buttons, if that is a thing you can do.
That's a thing, yeah.
Us quickly or not quickly, or if no one else cares, you can tell me later. I just am curious.
Yeah, sure. It's an image with the link attached.
Okay, I was wondering if that was it. And so did you make those little buttons yourself? Like you made that cute little tiger button? with the little words on it. That's cool.
Shout out to Jen Hutchins for the buttons formatting.
Yeah,
Found this on the internet and stole
they're
it.
pretty.
And so what she did is, I think she went into Google Slides or Google Drawing and threw in some pretty text on the W. I'm going to click the edit button on the top right hand corner. And so now I'm allowed to edit this thing. I can go into the rich content editor here. And when I click, I notice that I get this additional toolbar, which helps me know that this is a table. I also know that this is a table because I see these dotted lines. Now, to make it look pretty, the final product says no lines showing. So I can click on one of these and I see that it's selected, I have corners, and I know it's an image. If I look up here at all of those tools, I see that there is an arrow under the unlink. Links of a chain, you linking something up. My option here is that I can unlink it because it has a link attached to it. You can change these.
So how do you get for the module, where would I pull that link from? Like if I wanted to have a button that,
if you
because I'm clicking within the document or within Canvas.
If you use the WHS template, the document is already linked up to go-to modules. If you are starting from scratch, I didn't do this, Jen did this. So what she did was she pulled a link to the actual module. So you just go to module and then copy the URL, question mark. Sherry, go.
If you want the same link that Jen did for the learning modules, you do like you did, you select the graphic image that you want to link. And then I went over to the modules on the right.
Left? Right? Same, probably.
Right. Yes, there. Click on that. Open it up. And I did the welcome to your class. That gave me the exact same one Jen had.
I'm picking it up.
And you just click on it and it'll make it pair.
Okay, let's make a new one.
Good.
Oh God, that looks
Thank
ugly.
you.
Control Z, Control Z. Oh God.
Now, if you don't click on it, it will stick in extra text as the link.
Okay. We can put a picture of my dog from the desktop. Which one of these is a picture of my dog? I don't know. I have a business card. I'll just put in my business card. That's right. Yes, I do. I know what that looks like. I don't have anything that's scary to show. I shouldn't have been worried. Oh, I'm still talking. Okay, so yeah, these cute little business cards I made. Like, you want me to tutor you? Okay. I can click on the image. I know it's selected. It's in blue, and the corners are highlighted. Let's say I want to link this to assignments. It's going to link it maybe to a specific assignment or all of the assignment. I don't know. Modules. I have 6 modules in here. I know that the first one is also a module. So I'm just going to click the first one because I know that's the first module. And I'm going to click Save. And we'll look at it and see what happens. Thank you for bringing that to my attention, Sherry, because on the right-hand side, it did say click these to copy link stuff, which is maybe a little different than just going over here.
And you can resize that image. I didn't see that. Maybe it was a scroll down thing.
So I clicked on it, and sure enough, it took me to my modules. I think maybe just hitting one of those corners and dragging. All right, I'll keep it honest. It's 8:30. Last one. Don't show up tomorrow or Monday.
What will I do without you every morning?
Well, we still work together.
That's
You can send me emails every morning if you want.
I probably will.
Let's stop recording.